Right, hello everyone. So today's Friday. Okay, normally it's my day off, as you know, Fridays, but I'll do a video in any case. Let's start with gold. Now, with gold, as you know, yesterday I gave the PST prices, which was up here, and the daily pivot was also up here. So if you sold at the daily pivot PST at the Astro hour, you would have been just fine. You needed to get out either here at the target or at the Astro hour and the target, because the target was down here. We still have targets down here for gold. If you take a look at the daily, this is a bounce location. They just took out the stops. This is important. Why? Because all the swings broke, so the market should go up to sell down again. Question is where we're going to go up to. Two levels. It's either going to be here or slightly higher. All right, but today you can still sell if the market comes up here or there. I've already marked them in. That is up here, 1899 to 1905. So this zone is looking okay to sell as well. So if the market does come up, you're okay to sell down at Astro hours as well. If you want to buy, because this is a good bounce, okay, you can do that. If it comes down again, 1883 is okay. But remember, the market's still going down. So if you're going to go against the down move, you're going to have to keep your lot size small, just be a bit more conservative and prudent, just like I said yesterday. Why? Because the market's coming down. All right, and that zone is 1850, as you can see. All right, and 1854 actually there. And on the daily, I've already marked that in 1854. And remember, I said we would come back down here. So 1854, let's move this a little bit more down. Bring it down into here, right there, 1854. Let me just mark this in 1854. Okay, and that's fine, and that's how it should be. Remember, we had the bounce here, so this breakout retesting here, and then this would be a nice place to buy as well. As you can see, we might dip a little lower as well. Why? Because there's a market gap here. Okay, so it's all good, fair price gapping, filling in the gaps, and then moving with the market. Let's take a look at SP 500. Guys, same kind of thing. Remember, I drew this trend line. I said this will break. I told you this was going to break before the break happened. All right, and this is why I've been saying you should be selling on the retracements up. So if you sold all the way, great. And I said we should at least come into this zone here. The market is already there. So I'm going to move this now. These are done. All right, so we're pretty much at the targets there. You can see the swing broke, closed lower. So this is just an opportunity for us to trade up in order to sell. So if you want to trade this up in order to sell it off, it's doable. And it's doable, and it's also doable slightly lower as well. Now you have to be careful here. Let's just do this and get ourselves another one of these. Okay, as you can see, that's already broken, so this is going to be a zone here. And if I can just get my hands on this and draw it, that'll be fine. Okay, so that's not going to happen. It's not moving, but you know what I mean. Just take this last red bar before the breakout happens. So the market, just will probably come down a little bit more. That's 4,340, 4,320. It's still doable. A little bit of a dip down. Your first resistance is the HCL1, 4379. So just mark it in. That's your first resistance, and your 36th level is the goodbye kiss on the daily, which is 4,400. Okay, so if I was to, let's see if it'll give me the opportunity to do this. Can it? Will it? Shall it? Nope. No, suffering from bad, slow platform, unfortunately. Also, my internet is pretty bad, as you know. I'm off. So all August, in fact, last week of July as well, I've been on holiday. So internet's not been very good where I've been going. So the platform is also a little slow, but I've got some good news. We're gonna make this available for MT5, hopefully pretty soon. And we'll also add a few nice things like demand and supply as well. So we'll be able to see, all kinds of things. I'm also going to be adding in, automated trend lines and so on, hopefully once we get the astrology developed as well. So in the meantime, anyway, I'm just going to get rid of this. You know what I'm talking about, this bar here. All right, so what you got to do is that 4,456, but here the important thing is this 4,400. So just mark that 4,400 on the SP 500. It's a good buy case, and that's right over here. So if the market does go up here, this is going to be also a sharp sell zone, as you can see here as well. All right, let's take a look at the euro dollar. So with the euro dollar here, all right, once again, this was these levels are retracements levels. If you go to the daily, we've got room to come down here, as you can see. Now we're in this zone. This is also Venus line, as you know, right? Beautiful divergence. We're on a Venus line, so this zone is not a bad place to pick up and go long either. So if the market is down here, you just have to wait a little bit to see how things pan out. In the New York session, you can also go up. Just use your Astro hours. It's not a bad place to go long, but I am expecting the market to come lower, like I said before, remember? So the market will come lower, and this is, in fact, I think this is the Mercury line, because brown should be my Mercury line. So we should in fact be coming into this Mercury line here, and that's when we're going to kind of like look to go long again, and that could be like pretty much spring 2024. Okay, so just be mindful about that. Let me just curious, that should be Mercury. Anyway, never mind. So the market came down nicely. You want to go back up again in order to sell off, all right? So that's the attitude that we can take, but because the move is still moving down, you want to make sure you're at targets where you can actually reverse. Now on the weekly, as you can see, we've got a lot of room to come down, so buying against this move may not be the best idea. On the other hand, this is the zone where they bought before, so coming down here to go up in order to sell is an option. But as you can see, we really have room to come down. This trend line here should also break. As you can see, this one there, this should come down, and then this should also break. So we should find ourselves going lower than 62 and down here below 50. All right, that's what I'm thinking. Obviously, that's on the weekly, so that's going to be a bit more longer term, but that's how it should be. Like we should like come down, and then we should be pushing up afterwards. All right. In the meantime, though, you can look for buy setups, but I'd be very, very prudent. Keep your lot sizes smaller than usual, and also look out for your swing days. All right, so that's basically how it is. As you can see also here, yesterday they sold off. They broke the swing, so selling on a retracement up looks like a better option than standing in front of these big pushes down. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. Now with the Dow Jones, beautiful pull down, push down, whatever you want to say. It's done all the targets on the price and the PST as well, so not much to talk about. As you know, we're going to be coming down on this, so I'm just gonna do this and draw that along there, and that's where the line should be. However, though, we should be coming into this zone, so the trend line might probably break, and it probably will. Okay, so that's what we want to see. Okay, the market coming into this zone, and that's it. Probably will do it in, probably the way things are going, we should see it this year then. All right, and that's that. Let's get rid of that as well. So today, what to do with Dow Jones? If you take a look at the weekly, I said we could bounce off this weekly here, 55, which was 34,681, and I said there should be a bounce at 34,681, which is here, 34,681, which is right that line there, and you can see it just didn't, it just collapsed. So if you went for a long here, okay, against the move, you should have done it with a smaller lot size, like I said, because you're going against the move, you would have been stopped out. But if you were selling like on the retracements down, you should have been just fine. So this zone is also going to be a place where you can sell off. All right, so if the market does come up, it's sellable again. If you take a look at your daily, your HCL1 is 34,664. Now here, guys, you've got to be a bit careful, and I'll tell you why. Because if I make this a little bigger, you'll see this indecision bar here. It looks like an indecision bar. Okay, and what might be a better idea is also to put a line there. Okay, and that's what we want to do here. All right, and this is a place where the market may bounce off, because you can see here we had a big push going up. There's a gap here. We're definitely coming down, that's for sure, but it might go up first before the come down, and so that's what you've got to look out for here. All right, so that's that. So any push up, you can push down, or you can also look for a buy from these lows to push up, so we can get into a sell position again. All right, all the way up there, market can come up into, that's 35, 150. This could all happen next week as well, because we had a breakdown. They'll want to retest the breakdown. Okay, so 35,000 is all the way up here, as you can see, and 35, 120 is up here, or 150 was it, something like that, is just there. All right, so this zone is still on the cards. Market can come back to retest 120, sorry, there. All right, around there. So the market can come back to retest these zones again, probably next week kind of a thing. Okay, and depends what's going to happen this week. But selling further down is not a bad idea. The options are there, but like I said, you've got to be careful, because we've already hit target zones. Okay, we're like over with it, so we can actually get rid of this as well. Why? Because I said there's a gap here, and this gap needs to be filled. So if you sold to fill it in, you would have taken profit already. So just, you know, be careful here. All right, now let's take a look at Nasdaq. Now I said Nasdaq is a bit more tricky, because it's done all the targets there on the PST weekly, and this zone is on the cards, and this is where we're at. So on the daily, as you can see, it's right at the dip there, and you can see that they are just holding it there. So this is actually pretty much breaking down as well, which is good, because once the swing breaks, then want to go up either here or slightly higher to sell off again. So we should go up a little bit and then sell off a little bit. The first resistance of today is going to be 32, and that's 14,750. 14,750 is somewhere up here, which is your daily pivot. So this is your first resistance here, but there are a few gaps here, as you can see. So if the market does come higher, I wouldn't be surprised to sell off. Also here, the market may want to go long. Why? Because the gap here is now closed. Okay, you can see there's a gap here. The market's closed it off. Okay, and on the weekly, if you take a look at the weekly, it's just done. It's just went all the way down into the last price target. So the PSTs were done. The last price target was done. So this is really bearish tone, as you can see. So we should be looking for an up retracement, which we can still trade, and then pushing it down further. All right, so be careful there for a bit of a reversal. If you're not sure, don't trade, leave it alone. Bitcoin, like I say, you should be selling it off from the highs, and if you did so, great. Then all you got to do is just keep following it down. I said we would go below the 50 and the 37 here. I drew this zone ages ago, so nothing to worry about. You can see the wick of the candle came right to the low, which I said it should, and then the market went up, and this is obviously your Venus line there. The market is still on top of that Venus line. All right, so it's nice and easy, no big dramas there. You can see that, and the date is as at that hour. And remember, 1 o'clock yesterday, I gave 10 past 1 as an hour. Okay, that's 12:50, and that's your 10 past 1. So the market just made that low there, and we had those targets below. We still have targets below, okay, but this zone is obviously important. 25,000 zone is important for Bitcoin. What to do here? Well, the market may go up a little bit because it'll want to fill in the blanks. And remember, it dropped pretty fast. So when you have a big drop down pretty fast, then it gives an opportunity to go long in order to fill in those liquidity levels and the market gaps. Okay, so from these levels pushing up a little bit, it's not a bad idea, and then we'll see how things pan out. We should then go lower as well. Okay, so that's how it is with Bitcoin. So what you want to do is be a bit careful now, because now this is turned into a buy zone. It's a really good reaction there, as you can see. The market just bought nice and easy, so be mindful. If it comes back down here, there'll be buying pressure here as well. Also, you can draw your channel line like this. Sometimes the market likes to go down, take out the stop losses, and then go above that channel line, make a U-turn and give it a nice goodbye kiss. Because if you take a look here, the market's done this, the market's done that, okay? And however though, there's still, as you can see here, gapping, all right, down here. There is no gap here. It's pretty much done it nice and easy. So this is all good, fair pricing all the way in here. The only drama is that little gap there. All right, so we still have a bit of pressure downwards. I think the market should push further down, but we're waving all the time. So from the lows here, you can buy in order to go up, but be mindful, it's Friday today.